Wait, spin? First. Of course. Let's see. Trying to get a blast out to everybody. To all parties who want to be involved with said stream. Happy holidays. Happy holidays, y'all. How was everyone's holidays? We waiting for everybody to come in here, get the blast. Let's put this on Blue Sky. Copy. Put this here. Hey, but damn the cat. The holidays was pretty chill one, as we usually have. Just hung out with family, did normal gift exchange, ate food, or had dinner. It was we usually have a pretty simple, boring Christmas, but we like it like that. We don't get into like any hustle and bustle or any of that stuff. We just keep it low key. Plus, at the same time, we don't have like any kids in the family to really like make it crazy. So it's expected for it to be simple. That's out there. Afternoon, Gillian. Yeah. I want to do more like a. I'm not gonna lie. We need a season 2 of Invincible Fight Girl. I know, right? Immediately, not Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers, because like Warner Brothers need to hurry up and just be like, yeah, season 2 is coming. I would hope, like the growing fan base it got, that they see that and they notice is like, oh, there is a demand, Like, I don't know. I'm just hoping it turns out good. I mean, I'm hoping they actually give it the sauce. Oh shoot, I forgot to turn that on. Oh boy, that made me laggy, didn't it? Sorry, y'all. For some reason my light is weird. Like it messes up the camera, so it makes it like laggy weirdly. Like if I add more light, for some reason it becomes laggy. It's instead of how it's supposed to be, where it's like if you add more light, it should become way clearer for the camera. I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe the camera's old. Season 1 was legit perfect. Yeah, yeah. To be honest, no episodes were a dud. They they maximized the hell out of their episodes. Like every episode counted towards the story or towards Andy's growth. Even the stuff where they like step away from Andy's story a little bit to like focus on some side characters. Even then, it's still they connected back to Andy properly because they showcased, yeah, she's observing this stuff and taking it into account, and drawing it back to her growth. Like the show really fills in the void that My Hero Academia left behind. To be honest, I dropped off of My Hero Academia. I stopped watching the anime and I kind of stopped reading. Like I dropped off the anime right after All Might lost his powers, And then, but in the manga, I read all the way. I read further beyond that. You know, I got all the way up to the last arc, but I stopped as it was getting going. Like, just I stopped at, like, I think Toga and Uraka fighting. I don't know. It was just one of those things where I just kind of fell off the series. I don't know. That was just a weird one. Usually I follow them to the completion, but My Hero Academia just wasn't hitting as well as I wished it would. And I think it had to do more with they have all these characters, and I want to like them, but it just doesn't feel like it gives them enough time because everything just happened because we have such a big story going on. I mean, I don't know. It's because you grow up with superheroes, every now and then there are the downtime episodes. There are episodes where the characters, you know, or you have episodes that's not related to a major plot. You know, maybe they are stopping some crime, just random crime, and maybe it has a character moment or so. And I don't know, I just didn't get a lot of that, or I didn't get it. I don't know. It's like the characters themselves just weren't the right people, even as well. Like, I just didn't feel that. I don't know if that makes any sense to y'all. But yeah, I think but I can see how Invincible Fight Girl can fill that void in for many people. You know, it's got that shonen, it's got a shonen vibe, even though it's not a shonen series. That's something that many people with that's something that I think many people have been wanting out of American shows for a while. It's like, hey, you don't gotta be anime. You still do your own thing, but just add your own touch to it. Take a few inspirations here and there. You know, I don't know. I think that's something that works in their favor is the fact that I don't know. I think that's something that it really is one of those things where it's like leaning heavily into your influences worked out for the best. That's how I feel. How do y'all feel? I should still be working, but I see I cannot resist. I mean, it's a chill session. It's not gonna be like crazy or anything like that. I'm trying to make more of a habit of not making these streams like events. But I don't know. Y'all can sound off. Like, do y'all would y'all prefer it be scheduled, or is the spontaneous like streams okay for with y'all? Because I'm always curious where that is, and I'm always happy to receive any feedback y'all would have to have. You know. But yeah. But yeah, But yeah, it's like you could like listen in on this one if you want. I always prefer scheduled streams. Fine with either myself. mm. I might get on. I don't know. Moving into 2025, that is one thing I do want to kind of get into for this stream. I mean, just a little bit, just to say a little bit is like moving into 2025 is it's the 10th anniversary of the channel. Thinking about that is like, oh boy. A part of me feels a little bit pressured to feel like there's something big I should go for, but at the same time, it's like, what could that be? You know, every show that I've ever claimed at this point on this channel, or that helped build this channel at this point, is gone, and it's like you could retrospect it, I guess. I don't know, maybe a retrospective on Star versus. Even then, that's not. Oh God, that actually technically could work. It's been 10 years. It would be, because it would have been 10 years by the time I actually reviewed that show or started like my first video. Hey, especially since it lived up to the over 2 years of hype I had. But yeah, I love Invincible Fight Girl very much. Another animation hot take video, perhaps. To be honest, I might make that more a stream thing. Like, just send me your hot takes on stream. I feel like those work a little better because when I was uploading them, people really weren't tuning in like that, sadly. So it's like, that's got to be dedicated to those who would be more likely to tune in. That's just how it is. Both of them. More people need to see Invincible Fight Girl and Gentry. Both of them. 5. Yep. Yeah, but I guess we can get into Invincible Fight Girl more. Man, it's just crazy because this was such a good series. Like everything from the first episode to the last episode of the season, like all of it was excellent. Like they didn't miss and they kept focus. Like, and that's something that felt different. And what works to this show's advantage is the fact that it wears its influences so strongly on its sleeve. It does take a lot from Dragon Ball. It does take a lot from, say, even kids animes. You can throw in like say Yu-Gi-Oh or so. But they understood the bare essentials of those shows. You know, where it's like it's this young scrappy protagonist who dreams big, and wants to go for the top. And so that's something anyone can tap into. It's the underdog. But you know what? But this is something I've thought about with Andy is she works so perfectly because of the fact that her dreams are not too aspirate, not like the grandest, I should say. They're within a reason where most people would feel like they can't get started. She's at the point of she's just saying, I want to be a wrestler. She's not at the point of saying, I'm going to be the absolute greatest wrestler. She's just like, let me just prove I can be a wrestler, that I'm not fitting into this simple box y'all have me as just an accountant girl. She's saying, no, I'm going to just be a wrestler. That's it. And she proved, and that's all she had to do. And that's something you could easily root for, Like they kept her in a simple position, but it's something that's like many people I know, there are plenty of people who genuinely want to be wrestlers. And so they do go through some training. They go through a journey. So obviously they're tapping into that. They're tapping into people who want to get stronger, who want to, create a better physique for themselves. So it's coming in at a good point. It came in at a great angle. Like this show knew what it was doing. It's clever for that. But I really do like it how Andy, she does feel like this very frail character. Like they make it a point to show off she is pretty meek looking, like she is a stick. So you see her going against these buff enemies and such. You're thinking, oh, she should not win this. Like you see I found you dudes. Ooh, sorry, let me mute that. But you see these big enemies that she's going against, and you're just like, jeez. Like, it's just crazy. She's so tiny compared to these type of guys. Like, and yet you're on board because you're wanting to see exactly how is she going to pull this off? How is she going to win? How is this scrawny young thing going to win against these monsters? And that's another thing is they're clever in not showing that she has like protagonist powers where it's like, yeah, she just wins because she's the protagonist. They are clever in their workarounds. They showcase that she is actually thinking about what she needs to do. Like she is not just throwing herself in there, Like that's the other thing. You really gotta praise how they do the angling on this. Like I said, they took their influences from anime, but they knew how to utilize it right. They knew it's like limited animation does wonders. Okay, we got to get out of the hype of everything needs to move in animation. Okay, sometimes it's like just limiting the frame, utilizing like a still image. Sometimes can work. It's just when it turns into full-on moving PNGs, then yeah, that's a problem. When it's like, yo, why is this move here and very wonky in this other place? But since that's a consistency thing. But regardless, like they understood limited animation so well by utilizing a lot of dynamic shots without having to move much. So it's like, yeah, you're never looking at a boring frame. I'm sorry, that was something a lot of classic cartoons were doing back in the day too. You say your Powerpuff Girls or your Dexter's Lab or Samurai Jack. Like, it's just understanding. It's like we don't need to move these characters so much. We only need to move them when it's important, when it matters the most. And that's effective. It's very effective in every single fight. And that's the one thing that you really got to hype up is the fact that it's bringing Dragon Ball Z like tactics to wrestling. Like, that is a match made in heaven, you gotta admit, okay? Dragon Ball Z and wrestling? Like, of course. Of course you combine those two. Of course, like, that's just what's so genius about this show. Like, I cannot wait to see. I hope this really gets the fan base it absolutely deserves. Screw any weebs who are trying to say it's not real, like real anime or whatever. If they're trying to get stupid about it, like, we need more of this type of stuff. You know, more action shows that really showcase how what you can get across without having to over animate everything. You know, that's the other thing that's been screwing over a lot of the industry is like the demand has gotten so high to a point that everything needs to move in a certain way, and it's really hurting the animators at the end of the day. I could have sworn I muted this. There we go. I think the best example I've seen. Okay. Even the episodes that on paper don't sound like very much is happening go such a long way in building the characters. Episode 5 in particular does so much to show how much she needs Craig and Mikey. Oh yeah, I really do like how they utilize her a friend group. It's very much she has a wacky bunch of friends. Like her manager, who's the most sleaziest dude ever. But he clearly cares. That's the one thing I really like is that no matter what, he genuinely is in for her story. Like, because it's what he says to her at the end, the lesson he tells her on the final episode. It's like that immediately was like he's in for this. I'm sorry, like I don't want to. I don't know. Y'all sound off if spoilers are okay with y'all, but it was such a good. What he says to her is like perfect. I love that lesson. That is such that it's a universal lesson. So many people need to hear. You know when and it applies to so many things. It doesn't just apply to wrestling or just getting stronger. It can apply to drawing or learning how to cook or learning how to knit or sew or anything like that. It can literally apply to whatever skill you're trying to do. Like, I'm sorry, that was so good what Craig said. Oh my god. And Mikey, I'm not gonna lie, Mikey was funny to me because of the fact that he was like this 8-year-old boy looks like he pays a mortgage. Like straight up, you look at Mikey. This man. Is he in this shot? Or is he in this clip? The people. Yeah, he ain't in it. Dang, I'm surprised. But yeah, Mikey. It's just one of them things where it's like he looks so out of place with his height. Apologize, y'all hear my family in the back, but look at him. Like, come on. But it's just so fun. But he's really great. The fact that his whole angle is he loves wrestling, but he doesn't love it the way his dad or his brothers would love it. He's like, no, I like the mechanics of it. I like studying it and figuring out strategies around it versus trying to do it himself, you know? And I'm sorry, and I like how he's like tying that more to journalism and utilizing that too, and with Andy. And it's the fact that and I do like the fact that he's actually a really good journalist. The fact that they're like, we need to showcase what real journalism is. Okay. Sorry, family. But it is one of those things, you know. It's just where where they add a lesson, like an actual important lesson, and put it into the media, and it actually reads really well. It's like, let's set an example. Let's make something a bit aspirational, you know. Sorry, you can't hate on that. I can't hate on that. I love that fact that they really want him to be an honorable journalist in this day and age when journalism is being horribly attacked and funded by very dark sources, like the rich. Like, like I'm sorry that like I like good examples of what this stuff is supposed to be. I always love that. I love seeing that. Mike Mikey reminds me a lot of myself actually. The first time I saw Mikey and heard that he was an 8-year-old, I was like, "The hell you mean this is an 8-year-old?" That's what it is. Like even when the poster came out for the show, I was like, yeah, I thought that was like some adult dude or a teenager or so, you know. But the fact that they're like, nope, he's 8. I'm like, that's too strong of genes, bro. But I do like Mikey's story, and because it's one of those stories that many boys would understand, many kids in general would understand if they had like conservative parents, because it's like he wants to live his life his way, you know, and his dad is telling him, no, you're gonna do it exactly my way. Even though Mikey is not even leaving wrestling, he's still in the business of wrestling. He's just wanting to report on it. It's like, I'm sorry, I'd be like, oh, okay, you're just gonna be in a certain path of it, a different path of wrestling, but still wrestling adjacent. Basically, you're still within wrestling. Sure, basically he could be a strategist. That's the other thing, but his dad is too like stuck in his ways to really see Mikey's true potential. Sorry that it's ended, but I like the fact that they just leave it at, he just had to leave. Nothing had to be said anymore. It's just go. You gotta go live for yourself, bro. Now, the only thing is like he is 8, so it's like technically he shouldn't do this at all. He just ran away from home. Like that's not a good thing as an 8-year-old, but still, same vibe as the buff kid from Spy X Family. I still need to watch that. I haven't given it a watch yet. The show actually have a lot of OKKO vibes in some ways when you think about it. Yeah, the vibes are definitely there, but with OKKO, they made it more. It was way more comedy oriented. There was a journey, but the journey was way more deep. Was way more deep self-reflection on KO's part to like really understand that it's like, hey, your frustration and anger is normal. Stop trying to feel it. Stop trying to think you can't be angry. It's okay to be angry sometimes. It's simple, but it's a good. But I think a lot of young boys should know that too. It's like, don't get mad at being mad, because you're just repressing yourself. Yeah, those are dark thoughts you don't really like, but sometimes you have them. It sucks. I think you'd love Spy X Family. I certainly do. I'm pretty sure I would. I've seen clips from it. It's been pretty. They're pretty funny. Like this one with I think you're throwing this dodgeball really hard. I've seen like people meme it up and show her throwing that thing and like a tank getting hit. It's like, okay. But yeah, Invincible Fight Girl, man. I think this is just one of those things. I really like the fact that it's interesting that Queso Poblana, she's so reluctant to actually train her. Which is fairly different than what you normally see. Here she genuinely is like, I'm out of this business. But there's clearly some type of shadiness to her past that we're missing. I think that's one thing that makes it interesting, is to see where her story is supposed to go. Like, why is she so reluctant to take on a student? Why now? Well, again, I won't give off spoilers, but, it's just one of those things where there's a lot of lore here, but they keep the focus to Andy. They keep the focus where it's supposed to be, versus just trying to tell everyone's story at once. Especially since they know it's like 10 episodes. You tell the story straight or lose everybody, okay? And they told a very strong and consistent story with Andy's growth. Like, I liked the episode where she had to deal with those idiot parents who like basically destroyed the town. Like they basically destroyed the whole town, causing a war, trying to figure out how to do the perfect strike move, like this perfect strike move that Queso Poblana defeated them with. And it drove a splint. It drove a wedge between them, and just for nothing. And they and it's such a good lesson for Andy because it sometimes it's one of those cases of like shit sucks, and people are just stuck in their ways and you can't help them. Like you genuinely like they. I'm glad they didn't sugarcoat it. They ain't tried to amend it. I mean, there's possibility they amend it later, or they genuinely just leave them to their ways. Whatever happens to them, happens to them. I think it'd be hard of them if they did that. Like, if they actually went as far, like to just be like, yeah, no, that town literally drove themselves into oblivion. It didn't work. I don't know, man. Like that, the fact that it's like, yeah, everyone got wrapped up in the cult of personalities and started warring with each other for nothing. Like the townspeople had to abandon ship because they're like, yeah, a bunch of assholes came in here and ruined everything. Sorry, that's good. And like I said, with Andy, with Birdie, like Andy, all she could do was just sit there with that. It's like, it sucks it really was horrible for Birdie. The fact that her parents really couldn't see past everything and just couldn't notice her at all and just abandoned her like that. And Andy just had to say, you know what? I need to appreciate my family. I need to appreciate my parents for the fact that they love me, that they even support me, because that's just sort of a thing. A lot of kids don't realize is like sometimes it's a privilege that you have good parents that actually love and care about you and support you, like because plenty of kids would kill to be in your position. But it was, man. Invincible Fight Girl, man. Everything about this show, from its animation, I like the designs, I like the world. I do want to see more of it. Because there's so much you can do. The upper echelons of the wrestling federations they got going, like there's so much more. So it's like, please, Warner Brothers, be smart. Give us a second season, please. Okay, be smart. Like, you might be moving in the right direction depending on how things go with that Superman movie. Hopefully it does well, but man, we can't lose out on Invincible Fight Girl. We can't lose out on more of this, okay? We get it that y'all are about to dissolve Cartoon Network basically, but please, more Invincible Fight Girl. Birdie's episodes made me cry. Yeah, it was heartbreaking. The way Andy's parents were handled in episode 2 was really heartwarming. Yeah, I like that they weren't like hardcore stick in the muds. They just said, yeah, she didn't want to be an accountant. That's not her dream, and who are we to hold her back? She's gonna chase this. She's got to figure it out for herself. This is her carving her own path. I like that. I like that. That was nice. And I hope no one gets upset that it's like the parents aren't there for a while or aren't there, because it's like it's not about them. Okay. Fingers crossed we get more seasons. Hopefully. I've heard Commandos is how Creature Commandos is really good. Other shows just took priority to me. I watched 2 episodes. It is really good, but I need to get back into it. Yeah, there's definitely a few episodes out now, but I definitely want to check out Creature Commandos. I mean, want to finish up with it. But yeah, Invincible Fight Girl, excellent show. Hopefully we get another one. Please, Cartoon Network, be smart. Not Cartoon Network, but Warner Brothers, I have to say. It sucks turning 30 and just seeing your childhood die, doesn't it? But I say with that done, let's get to Sonic the Hedgehog. It's kind of crazy typing in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and now it's only the movie. Before you would just get the game, because that's all there was. But now it's like, yep, the movie. But yeah, I do want to talk some stuff about Sonic 3, man. I didn't get to see this one in the 40X. I probably still will. Where's a good? That's not a good. There we go. Like, I saw this. I got to see it like that Thursday, the preview Thursday they usually do, man. And I saw it a second time, like just a day or two after. But it's funny because both crowds had sort of differing reactions to it. Not full on different, but just like it, it's just one of those things where it's like they definitely there was applause and cheers, but granted, in some cases where the applause happened, they were like a little meek because the theaters, while full, weren't the fullest, I guess you could say. And then, but that was for like the first one. The second one, they were a lot better. You know, crowds were cheering a little better when moments were happening, and it's like, okay, good. It's just it had a weird crowd for the early preview. That's it. But people cheered up. People cheered properly at every moment like they needed to, and but because man, it's crazy how got they just kept getting better with each film. You know what I mean? Like with the first movie, I liked it. I did not hate it like most people would hate it. I thought it genuinely was a perfectly good foundation film. You know, you could start here, but you build up from here. You know, that's all they could do from there. It's like, you know where you messed up. You know what we didn't like. We didn't like Sonic in no damn car. We didn't like him just sitting buddy buddy with a cop. We wanted to see him actually doing the cool stuff. When we get to the third act of the first movie, he's like, there we go. That's the stuff we wanted to see. But we needed that throughout most of the movie. There were some parts here and there, but still not most of the stuff. It was overall fine, to be honest. Then the second one comes out, and it's like, there you go. Okay, y'all really got it. Y'all genuinely started getting what we wanted out of this. Sorry. They had some slip-ups. I can't pretend like they didn't. But it's the fact of the matter that they listened to the feedback and realized where they were messing up. They said, okay, yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a step back from all the humans and really focus in on like Sonic and his adventures. You know, that's the type of stuff we were looking for. And then, but you know, the wedding scene in the second one is where everything goes stupid. The wedding scene was the only one where it's like, okay, that became a little, it wasn't even that it wasn't entertaining, it just didn't connect strongly to the story like it should have. There was ways to connect it to the story, they just didn't connect it the best, and it went on a little too long. You know, it's not that, you know, and so they made the third one shorter than the second one, but it's like, you didn't need to make it shorter, you just needed to make that one scene shorter, and everything else you could expand if you wanted to. That's why some of us were probably, I was hoping for like a 2-hour movie with this one. Could you imagine? But you know, just so they could really let a lot of certain moments like just sit with you, like so you can really just feel them. I don't know, but regardless, like this movie, many might try to argue it's mostly fan service. To a degree it is, but it's one of those things where they understood the story, they understood the assignment and enhanced it. Like, there are things in this movie that's like better than the actual games, and that's might be crazy or egregious to say as any type of video game fan, you know, where it's like the movie can do a little better than the actual games, but they do so well. Like Shadow's story, they expand upon it in a perfect way. They actually give us the bonds between him and Maria. They really want you to feel like you need to understand why these two care about each other, why his story is so tragic, you know. Because I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't a fan of Maria in the games. I really was not a fan of Maria in the games. Mainly, she wasn't bad, but I'm sorry, what 12-year-old talked like that? What 12-year-old was talking like that? I know it's the 90s, but dude, like, not to say she should have been spouting off like pop references or nothing like that, but dude, kids are kids, okay? Like, you're not telling me that she spoke way too much like a benevolent being of some sort, you know? And I was like, no. She kept sounding a little too like a motherly figure, and I'm like, she's 12. Like, what are we doing? So with the movie actually just saying, yes, we're playing up that she is just a innocent 12-year-old, I like that. They just played that up because that's all you really needed. That she was just she was someone who was deeply cared about, that truly that had a personality, had fun, had a bond with Shadow, and it's treated with genuine respect. Like, they actually play it straight. They don't try to do any silly, stupid things that's just like, come on, y'all. Like, can y'all take the moment seriously? Can you just let us have the moment? You know, they it's it's good. It genuinely is good. The way they handle the story and everything. I'll be honest. I thought with the way Shadow's story plays out, I thought they were gonna do something where it's like this might get a PG-13, but nah. They kept it straight to, we only get him, like, we're only getting him pretty much as we're just gonna get a sort of abbreviation of the story a little bit. Well, of the main story or the backstory, you know. They're not gonna go too deep in the paint about it. But that's the thing. I like that they don't play it up to that's the thing. At first glance, you would think this story wouldn't work because of the fact that it's like, look, it's a genetically made or modified black and red hedgehog that looks like a cartoon character, somehow befriending this very much realistic, like, live action little girl. Like, it's supposed to be silly. You would think, no, that can't work. You can't make that serious. You can't. But no, I think we're kind of out of this 90s mindset of back in the day where people always thought, you know, with these ideas or the things you see in the books or comic books are too silly to make work in a movie. And it's like, guys, when people can make stuff like The Pest or the Super Mario Brothers movie and somehow keep their careers, at that point it's like, yeah, we don't need to act like movies are this prestigious thing, okay? Movies can be pretty silly and stupid. Just like everything else. Even books can be pretty silly, depending on who's writing them. So that was just one thing I just absolutely love. I did love the characterization. I've always loved the characterization of how they were doing Sonic in these movies, where they really play up the fact that he's a teenager and he's learning to grow as things go on. That was something where it's like, yeah, if you're really like, you don't like, they're just deciding we don't want to make Sonic just a pure blank slate. We genuinely want him to have an arc. And I think that was one of the best ways to go about these movies, is understanding you need to give him something to fight for, something to make him grow. And I know people hate the humans, don't like the humans, wish they didn't have the humans, but we gotta admit, they managed to get a lot of character out of Sonic using the humans. Like, send your pitchforks, hit me with them. But I feel that genuinely is, I feel like that's the truth, you know? I feel they managed to actually get a lot out of Sonic's character with the humans. Now, it's not perfect. It could have been done better, personally, I think. Mainly, I feel like Maddie should have played more of a role, at least. Like, they didn't need to get rid of her in the first movie, technically. I don't know. I feel like that could have been something. It's like, if anything, that could have made the story stronger if you really played up this couple who might have been unsure of whether or not they want to have kids, but they find Sonic and it's like, he's all the kid we need. I don't know. I mean, that's where it went anyway. It's like, just build up Maddie. That's all I'm saying. But I think that's something that's just something good we got out of these movies, is that they built on Sonic's character utilizing the humans. Again, in a perfect world, this would either be a 2D or 3D animated movie with no humans other than Eggman, or like maybe the humans we see in like Sonic Unleashed or something like that. But I don't know. I'm not against humans and Sonic at all. I mean, I know we want to see animal characters. Personally, I like the mix. I'm like, give us a mix. We can have that. But the way the live action movies are, it's like, unless you pull some universe bending, some shenanigans or something like that, I don't know how you make that work. But What do you think of Maria from the Dark Beginning animated shorts, or her not having her sickness in the movie? Oh yes, her not having the sickness. I'm gonna be honest. That actually really helped. I think that helped it more because if they kept that sickness, it would have been overkill. I think that's where people would have been like, nah, you melodrama. It's too, you're trying too hard to make this sympathetic. It's a little because in reality, it's a little girl getting killed. That's all you need to know. She doesn't need to be up on the ark because sick. She didn't need to really be on the ark because of a sickness, because the sickness isn't even what took her out. It just created an unnecessary explanation as to why she's there when it's just her grandpa invited her up and they said, sure. Granted, now the difference is the way they do the arc is they don't really have an arc. But they do, not to say they don't do the ending just right, but the arc is done a lot differently. You know, like, so that's where in the game it's like, so y'all wasted taxpayer dollars to send this little girl up to space. People, it's too many questions to be thinking about. Here they're like, let's just kind of keep the base on the Earth, because we can't, because they kind of don't justify the arc being made. It's like, yeah, why does the military want a giant death ray in the space? Like, who is that for? Who is that protecting? You know what I mean? I like that they changed that up. I think that worked better. What do you think of Maria from the Dark Beginning animated shorts? I think she was good in there. They were understanding. It's like, yeah, you can write her more as she didn't feel as a benevolent child, like a benevolent being in those. I think because it was Ian Flynn who wrote them, right? So he understood. It's like, yeah, Maria's still a kid. Like, like she can be a little bit wise for her age, sure, but not like she shouldn't be like a full on know it all like that, or not know it all, but has it that well figured out. She's still a kid. Uh, Agent Stone is basically anti Chris Thorndike since everyone. Ain't that funny? Yeah, he really is. Everyone loves Agent Stone, and people love the actor because the actor like kind of likes to throw red meat to the fan base, but because he enjoys the role. And I'm gonna be honest, I think they could keep him. Keep using him. Make him, if you want to do some, like, make him a new villain of like new force of nature again that Sonic has to go against our adversary. I'm okay with that. I don't think I'd be mad at it. It's like, just really give him some good funny lines. Really play him up. Play up his villainy. Really showcase how bad he can get. I think that could be something that, because I like his actor. I think he's really funny, and I think he has cool enough moments that it's like you can use him. I don't know. We definitely needed more time set in the past. We specifically needed to see Gerald and Maria interact in the movie. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I truly didn't think about that. That was, yeah, they don't build on Gerald and Maria's relationship. Hell, there happens to be an extended edition of this movie. Hey, I'm down for that. I'll be honest, if they did have that, it'd be great. I'd be down for an extended edition if there is one. If they genuinely have good scenes, that's like, oh yeah, no, we can actually expand upon some things. I mean, but that's why it's like I wish this was a 2 hour movie, because it's like they could have added a little more. They could have played into the backstory a little more with Gerald in his connection a little bit to Shadow and Maria. Maybe to even show off the deterioration of the relationship between Shadow and Gerald. What do y'all think? I'm not sure how many of y'all have actually seen this movie, but yeah, that's why I'm not trying to go into deep spoilers of how they did everything. Just a few minor changes. That's like still tells you, lets the story still gets told the way it should be, but it's just done they set it off a different path that leads to the same place basically, which isn't bad, not bad at all. I just, like I said, it did better. It did better than the games, but I do like that everyone had something to do also with this. Like, I do like the fact that Tails and Knuckles didn't feel like secondary characters. They didn't feel useless or anything. Like it's the Sonic show only. Like they made sure it's like Tails and Knuckles are very important here. So they help. No, they help out a lot. So definitely different from the games. Yeah. But yeah, I think boy, without going too deep into spoilers, what else do I mention? Like I said, the fan service was really good. It being faithful to Adventure 2, because that's the other thing is like, if you grew up with Adventure 2, it's like you understand every hype moment that happens in it because it's like, wow, they show proper love to this. Even the changes that they made obviously were a case of logistically, how do you make that work with considering how the movie series has gone? You know, they don't have all the characters that they had in the games because you don't got Rouge, you don't got who else was on actually, yeah. Oh, never mind. You got most of the major characters. Now that I think about it, it's just you don't have Rouge and Amy. Those are the only two that are really missing the most from the story, aren't they? And and Mr. President. Yeah, they took out. Yeah, Mr. President ain't there. There you go. I think they, though. I guess they have. If anything, they technically either have. I guess you either count. What is that dude's name? The one colonel, the military guy, the old dude, maybe as like the president. But if anything, he fits more the general. So I guess Christian Ritter's character, who I'm not gonna lie, it was funny seeing. It was kind of funny seeing Christian Ritter in this movie. She wasn't bad or anything, but it was like, huh, okay. She's like Jessica Jones. Cool. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Walters is akin to Abraham Towers, I suppose. Yeah. If anything, they don't really. Yeah, pretty much. Like the way the backstory plays out, it's like it's basically just Abraham. Definitely different from the game. But yeah, Christian Ritter's character felt weird in this movie. I don't think she felt weird. It just felt odd, or I guess maybe I can't even say underutilized because they used her in the middle pretty well. So her character, I mean, because it's like, I guess it's one of those things of the last if the last main thing you've seen her in was like Jessica Jones, and then you see her popping up in this, it just feels a little bit like oh okay right actress. I don't know I don't know if I'm making any sense there. But man, the action was also really good. Like they had musical moments where they needed to use them really well. Especially it's just so good. It just perfectly understood the assignment of Sonic the Hedgehog. And like Jeff Fowler, like he even got there's literally a shot in the the first fight with Shadow that's literally ripped straight from Shadow the Hedgehog. Like when you see it, it's like, did Jeff Fowler really get like, because in my right, he worked on the cutscenes for for Shadow the Hedgehog the game. So it was just like, did he just sneak in one of a shot he made before in like the games? To me, that's insane. That's actually sick. That's actually mad sick. Like, props to you if you got that, if that was what happened there. But it was oh man, it's hard to really talk too much about it when people haven't watched it because there's so much to really like go into about it, especially in terms of like moving forward. Where does the franchise go? But where with the certain games they seem to be leaning towards for the next one, because there are like end credit scenes. It's a question to ask. Yeah, where can you go with this? You know, I mean, one idea could be soft reboot it, where the fourth is like, okay, something happens where Sonic gets sent back to his world. I don't know. I wouldn't be mad if that's where we're moving in the next one, where they're like, you know what, let's just put them in the let's just put them in Sonic's world so we can get way more unique locations to utilize, because I think after a while you do get a bit of like, okay, we've been, unless you like travel to really unique locations on Earth to really play up the adventure aspect to it. It's like I kind of want to see what Sonic's world looks like a little bit. Now, again, like I said, to be fair, Sonic's world can be reflective of our world a lot of the time whenever they depict it in media. So it's just like, is that really changing anything? But I don't know. You could do something. You really play up the Echidna tribe. If I'm right, the Echidnas. No, they got wiped out, didn't they? So yeah. I don't know how you count. How can you play that up? I do wonder how many more movies they'll be doing. If they play their cards right, I can see a new trilogy being around a character from the post-credit scene. But beyond that, it's curious. Yeah, that's really it. I don't think we'll be getting perfect chaos given what they do with chaos in this movie. Yeah, because it's like, how would you really get into? Yeah, how would you get into to perfect chaos? That's really tricky. That is truly tricky, ain't it? But, but yeah, thinking about these movies, seeing where they can go, it's genuinely exciting because it's like I genuinely thought they handled themselves pretty well as they got better with each movie, and this one being the absolute, but finally getting a certified fresh rating. Like they finally said, okay, yes, here you're good. We get it now. Dude, I want to read that because that might be a spoiler. What's going on, my fellow cramped twin friends? Go somewhere. Jesus Christ. But yeah, that's enough about Sonic the Hedgehog. It's an excellent movie. I can't believe they keep getting better with each one, and it's just it's a question of how they top themselves. Like how do you get better? Like moving into the fourth one, since they announced the fourth one's coming, what is there to expect? You know what I mean? Like what do we get? What? Ugh. It's just exciting to think about. Like I said, if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. Like go watch it. It's very much worth the money. Oof. But yeah, I think with that out of the way, I want to move on to another topic. This one with a lot of contention. Helluva Boss. Oh man. I'll be honest, coming on stream at first it was mostly supposed to be about like talking about the movie Sonic movie and Invincible Fight Girl. But seeing sarcastic chorus, like seeing the man himself say, I got to get the fuck up out of here. Like seeing even sarcastic chorus said, I'm done. Now, here's my thing. I saw the video and he made all the great points, pretty much. Every point that you would think about when it comes to Helluva Boss is the fact that, dude, this show does feel like it's lost itself in what it said it was trying to be. If it's one of those things where it's like it felt like it was supposed to be a workplace comedy and dealing with some harsher stuff, but then it decides to shift into a romance that really didn't need to happen. I don't know. Like the romance between Stolas and Blitz is not. It could have been done better. I think that's what most people believe. It's like it's like far be it from me to act like I could write better, but I don't know. I feel like if Stolas fit more into the actual business and they didn't play up too much of the heavy trauma of their relationship, they just played maybe just because it's one of those things where it's like its setting kind of hurts its message it's trying to send, you know, because it's like you are in hell. You are all supposed to be the worst of the worst. So it's kind of hard to say. It's it's tricky. The fact that there's an upper echelon, it's like y'all are in hell. How is there an upper echelon in hell? Now, of course, there's supposed to probably be more a political aspect to it, but the problem, or social political aspect to it, but the problem there is like, you're too allegorical. It's like you're trying to be allegorical, but also like not be. Like you're trying to play it straightforward in a sense, but it's like it's pulling in so many different directions that it's hard to really grasp a feeling of what you're really supposed to take away, especially when it's trying to justify a lot of actions a lot of characters do. Like Blitzo and Stolas, they have an interesting relationship you could make work fine with its toxicity, even as a story. You could play it up as a cautionary tale, or you could really play it up as a proper story about growing as a couple, or growing out of the I only want you for your body phase and actually becoming a couple or something like that. I don't know. But it's just one of those things where it's like it overtook what most people wanted to see out of a Helluva Boss. People genuinely wanted the workplace. They wanted to see Moxie and Millie and Luna go in Blitzo just going on missions. The little shorts they do where they go on the missions every now and then, like those are actually great. Where are they? Animated films, not for kids, family animation test. I would not know where they actually put those little mini episodes. Yeah, Hello Boss. But it's like the small little like specials they would release. Ah, yeah, the shorts. Here you go. These actually work pretty well because it's like, yeah, it's goofy and fun, and you're just seeing them. You're just seeing how the business plays out. You know, who could resist that? Like seeing how the business plays out with with someone basically getting a assassin for hire to kill someone on Earth. Like they assassin for hire from hell, and to go kill someone on her Earth. That's interesting. It's very interesting. And these shorts trying to play up the failings of that business, that's nothing but comedy. That's entertaining. But I don't know. I would hope if moving into season 3, they take more like I'll take more from the reception that they've been getting about these shorts. Is like, oh, people really could not give a crap about a very toxic relationship that doesn't even remind them of a relationship they're in. That's the other thing. It's telling people to. That's the other thing. Blitzo and Stolas' relationship is so toxic and too unique for itself in a sense, where it's like it's hard to feel for anyone here when it's like I haven't seen an example of this type of stuff. I mean, maybe it existed somewhere, but it feels like if it did exist, the people writing about it didn't understand the proper conclusions about the story, basically. Not to knock writers by any means. They're working as hard as they can. They only do as they can. They're doing their best at the end of the day. And so I'm not knocking any of the writers. It's just one of those things where, I don't know, the show moves in a weird way that many people find off-putting for a reason. And I can notice it. It's definitely something that's bugged me with the show, because I am very much like, yeah, I kind of would care more about these characters if it was focused more on the characters I care about. If it was more focused on the Imp Inc. You know, I forget the business's name. Is it Imp Inc. or just Imp or something? Remind me in the chat. But yeah, Sarcastic Chorus, his whole video, you should go check it out if you after the stream, because his whole video nails a lot of the gripes everyone's been having. The big problem with with Sinsmas is the fact that it kind of tries to justify a lot of things that's just makes no sense, or tries to wrap up something, or tries to mostly focus on catharsis when it didn't earn the catharsis a lot of the time, or it muddied the waters too much. Octavia, me personally, I hated Octavia's point. Like, I hated her leaving, or deciding to just leave, because I'm just like, what are you? Because her whole point was that that Stolas, abandoned her, and then the fact that he was doing drugs, which I'm like, okay, y'all are in hell, or I guess him doing drugs. I don't know, because the other thing, I don't know how substance abuse really works in hell. It's like, aren't they? It's one of those things where it's that's why you gotta. It's hard to mix allegory and reality really well. Like, it's either you're gonna be allegorical or you're gonna be real. The fact that, I don't know. It's it throws me off talking about it. But regardless, my biggest problem with Octavia was, like, she really gets mad at her dad, but she's not justified. She knows, she saw everything play out. She gets mad at, Stolas for stepping up and deciding to sacrifice himself to save Blitzo, but as we all saw, they were going to kill him for nothing. He didn't commit the crime, and yet they were going to kill him. So he's stepping up. So Stolas was stepping up for that. And Octavia's like, no, you abandoned us. What the fuck you mean? I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? Did you zone out through that whole court case? Like, they literally were about to kill somebody, an innocent person, for your dad's behavior. Your dad taking the blame. Okay, yeah, they didn't kill him, which should tell you, oh, okay, well, I mean, the sacrifice turned out to be moot anyway. I mean, it does suck that he would have left me, but at the end of the day, would it have been right for him to just let somebody die? Oh, I just really did not like how she talked to Stolas on this run. Like, there's stuff to confront Stolas about, but that wasn't it. You saw he wasn't happy in the fucking relationship that he was in, which, don't get me wrong, yeah, there should have been more nuances to that, but to be fair, there are bad relationships that do have that. That is a dynamic that has happened in real life, okay? So, it's not hard to, like, the Stella and Stolas relationship I'm talking about, like, that does exist. So, it's not unrealistic, it's just a little too cartoonish. It's one of those, you get what you're saying, but you get what you're trying to do, but you're being a little over the top to the point. It's like, come on, guys, this feels like you're just being just trying to write a jackass, or not trying to write a jackass, like, you're just trying to be a petty asshole. Come on. In my opinion, Octavia is a victim of having two terrible parents. Stolas is the better parent, but he's still incredibly flawed. Effectively, yeah. Yeah, she is a victim of terrible parents in general, but it is one of those things of, like, why are you staying with Stella if you know everything that played out? The fact that she got mad, I don't know if I'm right, she got mad at Stolas for not calling, which he tried to do. I mean, if your whole thing is like, oh, when he lost his status, he wallowed in it for a bit and didn't call her, even though he did. He tried so many times to call. Like, what are we doing here, Ugh. Best thing I ever did this year is the shorts. Yeah, but one actually cares about you a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's Stolas. That's what it is like, ugh, it frustrates me. It just frustrates me how they handled that. Because I'm like, y'all didn't justify Octavia. That freak out felt out of nowhere. That felt out of place. I'm like, you weren't paying attention to anything going on. And what Sarcastic Core's point about the whole, he breaks down that the melodrama, the fact that they just want to get to certain epic moments that you would see in, like, a soap opera drama or a really good musical, or a stage musical or something like that. It's like, it's got to be earned. You got to earn your cheese, okay? Like, these moments, these cheesy moments, you earn it. You can't just get it. You earn your cheese. Like, you think about the most sappy endings that exist. They're some of the most cheesiest endings you could think of, but they work because of the fact that it's like, these characters went through hell. You saw them go through hell to get here, but they're in a much better spot. You think, say, your Gravity Falls, when that finale hit, it's cheesy. It's pretty cheesy, but it's earned. It feels right. Every time it hits, it's like, damn. Oh, like, you just feel it, because you're like, oh, man, that was one of a kind. You know what I mean? Go through hell. Yeah. Shout out to Papercut for noticing that. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I think we just I just think Helluva Boss really needed to focus more on being a workplace comedy. It should Stolas could still be there, but Stolas I think needed to play more of a role in the actual business. If anything, Stolas very much needed to be, if he was going to be part of the finances, he should have been part of the team. I think he could have been like a simple rookie on the team. That could have really helped there. It's like he finances the team, but he's the rookie. So I don't know that. I don't know. That would have created a real interesting power dynamic. That also would have included the rest of the Imp gang. They actually would have been included more in like stuff with Stolas, because it's like, yeah, this is our business. This is literally our money, and this guy can be fucking it up if you're not careful. I don't know. It just felt like they needed to give more agency to them. Nah, Mastermind is so undeserved. I was rolling my eyes with Stolitz in season 2 finale and Stolitz song in Masterminds. Nah, for real. If Helluva Boss was more episodic and didn't try to jump straight to all this story beats, it'd be way better. Yeah, it's one of those things of sometimes you are caught, like industry shows a lot of the time get caught by the fact that they're not given a strong order of episodes, and so you have them basically trying to fit in condense the story. They try to condense the story down to the episodes that were ordered. There's a small amount of episodes that were ordered. That's what happened with Has Been. At first they were going to get 12, then they get told nope, it's 8. So people tend to praise it more on that basis, on the fact that hey, they at least got out the story beats, which that's where it sucks. That it's like you got the story beats, but if that's just the bare basics. That's why with Has Been, I really like it. I do like the songs, but I recognize it's like, yeah, if only this could have been longer. If only they actually didn't if Amazon didn't chicken out and actually pay for the 12 episodes, so that way this would have been properly fleshed out and characters wouldn't have felt out of left field, and we actually could have explored a lot of time in the whole fucking tale. Okay. But it kind of speaks to the pattern of both of these shows. It's like there's a lot of lore between them that is trying to get explored, but it's getting lost in the heavier melodrama of like the big crowd pleasing moments. You know, it's like you just need to step back for a minute and be like, let's just play out the story properly, okay? Or let's really plan this out a little bit more. Let's play around with just airing regular episodes. Like most of the time, even if you feel like, hey, we won't be able to get our story out, I'm like, let's just have some fun episodes to just figure out some characters dynamics, okay? Let's do that first. Gone are the days of the quote unquote filler episodes. Ugh. Fucking weebs, dude. I hate them so much. They ruined everything, because it started when Steven Universe came in, and I think a lot of people who watched anime tried to watch it and said, this is filled with so much filler. And it's like, no, you dorks. This stuff literally builds on Steven's character. Oh, it's about Steven and his growth. Oh, whatever. But yeah, Helluva Boss, man. I'm hoping season 3 things get better. I mean, there's a lot more now happening that's like, okay. Like, with Millie now being pregnant, that's a lot. That's gonna be a lot to take in. But yeah, I think, like I said, if you haven't watched Sarcastic Courses video, go watch that, because it really does break down every exact flaw many that exists in Helluva Boss, and why many people have a lot of contention with it, me included. Like, I like the show well enough. I like a lot of aspects to it, but I wish it's like it just stuck its landing better. It really feels like it's just really could stick its landing. It just do or just be executed better. Filler episodes are important for character development. Yep, they're not, and again, they're not really filler. They're just episodes. They just call it filler because stupid weebs got hated the fact that the filler seasons would happen in animes, even though it's like, well, yeah, that's how it's got to go. Unless the manga finished entirely, they have to take a break. That's just how it is. Or now that they're finally learning, they actually take seasonal breaks. They no longer do we're just gonna do continuous episodes nonstop. It's like, take a season, take a break. Please. They're even doing it with One Piece, because it's like, damn, we caught up. We managed to really catch up to the manga way too fast. Now they're like, yep, we actually gotta go months without making some One Piece. Like, think about that. Ugh, animation is hard to make. Do you know how long it takes to make each episode of your favorite show? It takes months or even a year. Yeah, it really can take a year just to make one episode. It really can. That's why it's like usually they have multiple teams making episodes. So it's just one of those things where it's like, please appreciate animation. It really is. It's really a niche medium that sadly is very much getting snuffed out by big corporate interests. Ugh. I heard Has-Been's first season was really going. Yeah, we said that earlier. Like, it was going to be 12 episodes, but Amazon cut it down. They're just regular episodes, which you need breaks. You can't go from a big moment to big moment. You need something in between. Pretty much, honestly, these shortened seasons of shows these last few years have made me appreciate episodes that don't tie into the overarching story and instead give us smaller stories. It's one of those things of people are learning the lesson. You don't know what you got till it's gone. People didn't want to appreciate the so-called fillers, and so now people are learning, yeah, back then you got more episodes to actually watch. It may have been filler, but those are episodes that's still good to watch if you pay attention to them more. If you actually look at the subtext they're trying to go for, you figure out, oh, they had something to say. There was something to say. Or this actually builds into something more. Like, maybe this character got an important ability that's going to come back into play later or something. Or they learn an important lesson that can come into play later or something. Was all you got was blankets, or did you get anything else for Xmas? I actually got a Steam Deck. It's actually pretty good. But yeah, if y'all saw my community post, I got a burrito blanket. I just really wanted a blanket. I just really wanted a burrito blanket. I saw it and I was like, let me get that. I want a Christmas list. Just put that on for anyone to just get on the list. But yeah, also, like I said, got a Steam Deck, a bunch of box sets. It was a nice. It was a pretty good Christmas. It was a nice one. What did you think Charlie and the gang did for Sinsmith? Why do I forget who Charlie is? You see, that's always the problem with Helluva Boss, is a lot of extra characters get forgotten by me because I mostly focus to the main characters. That's how you're supposed to do your first season. It's like, keep it to their main cast for a bit. You can throw in some extras. Has-Been right, damn. Charlie, sorry. Has-Been's Charlie, I'm sorry. What do you think? Yeah. I feel like she would celebrate it. It's about wrath, right? But maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I think Charlie would celebrate it. I don't know why I paused like that. Sorry. Didn't mean to go into deep thought about that. What all you got? My mom used to call her little burrito. Used to call me her little burrito. Oh God. Do you think we'll get longer episodes in season 2 of Has-Been Hotels songs since it was confirmed that we are getting more songs in season 2 than we did in season 1. If they get more episodes, we can get more songs. That's what I'm hoping for. They don't get if they get another 8 episode order, they better not try to get more songs. I'm gonna be like, don't give me more songs. That was enough in the first season. If y'all only get, it's like, keep it to that amount. If y'all only get another 8 episodes, I do not want to. There was too many. There was a lot of songs, and a lot of them very much got forgotten by me. Like, I'd say about maybe half of them I think I forgot, because they like would double up episodes, particularly particularly the songs dealing with characters that I'm just like, okay, you're popping in and becoming a problem to deal with. Because like I said, I didn't really care too much for Charlie's dad coming into play, because I was like, can we build up her business first before we introduce family problems? I didn't even think she had family problems. Like, even if you want to tell me, well, she's the daughter of Lucifer, I don't think we need to introduce him just yet. That could be built up. That's a lost thing. Art, I feel, in a lot of media is like build up. A lot of people go for the, you know, like big moment already, and I'm like, that would be a crowd pleasing moment if I already had the build up for it. If I had some build up, like, that's why I didn't really like. I watched Has Been Hotel with friends, and we watched the finale, and a moment where Alistair punched Adam. Not Alistair, but the moment where it was a fight between what's is his name, Alistair, that's his name, right? The radio demon versus Adam, that seems like it would be hype, but it's like, yeah, I don't really know about that radio demon like that to really give a shit that he's doing that, because they talk up his Alistair. Damn. There we go. Like, that fight between those two, it should have been hype, but it's like, man, I needed more episodes with him. I don't know much about him. He seems cool. I mean, he's cool enough. I see the appeal, but it's like, the moment felt like it could have been better if you had just a little more build up with him, a little more connection with him. I think that's always my thing, because just telling the story straightforward without really allowing your audience to really sit with a character like that can get you to just not care when the hype moments happen. And then the same thing with Lucifer and the Adam fight. It's like, okay, it's hype that he came in to save the day, but I don't know. I guess that's the other thing, is like, isn't he the king of hell? Shouldn't he be like, I don't know. Like, there was so much. Like, the ending episode is the big war episode for season 1 of Has Been. Look at us. We're gone into Has Been now. But the last episode was very much about like this big war that they have with heaven and the angels, and you just got to think, how did we go from trying to make a rehab hotel to fighting the angels of heaven? Like, wait a minute. Not to say they couldn't involve heaven and all that. It's just the timing. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those things that just bugs me. I don't know. Sorry. I had to send a message. Ooh. Has Been Hotel is poor man, good place, in my opinion. Now it's okay. That wouldn't. No, I wouldn't say. Because I just watched The Good Place this year. We needed to see Adam and Lucifer more in the season. Yeah, we needed. We did need to see more of them for it to really kick in. The songs, though, again, the songs were good, except for the ones that were some of Vaggy's songs I really didn't care for, and I didn't care for the one song, and I think maybe it was episode 2 or 3 with the those ladies like arguing with each other, because I was just like, who the fuck are any of you? It's like, you better show some respect. Why? Who are you? Who is he? Who am I? You know what I mean? But yeah, but I just didn't care for that song. I was like, show respect. Who are you? Stay, Stay Gone was a banger. Which one was Stay Gone? Man, a lot of the episodes I did forget. I remember Loser Baby. That was good. And Poison. Poison was great. It starts with a sorry. Was that Lucifer's song? Yeah, a lot of songs that were pertaining to certain characters that popped in on the screen and they were just introduced through the song. Ugh, I don't know. It's hard to make that work because sometimes a lot of people are like, a song is not a great way to introduce me to one person I just met. I don't know. It can be rough if you're not careful. Charlie and Pretentious. Oh, oh yeah, oh yeah, right. But yeah, has been. I don't know. Songs introduce characters. Sounds like cats. Songs to introduce characters. I don't know. Songs you can introduce characters, but it's like the way Has Been does it. These characters will pop in and start singing, or they kind of pop in for a little bit. We get a little bit of the personality, and then we get this emotional moment. It's like, again, no build up. Again, but in this case, it's not their fault. But when we throw in Helluva Boss, that's a different question. This is an indie project. That's where it's like, now when we're just talking about the writing is a little bit. We're talking about the execution of the story and how the characters are playing, how the characters are. That's where things become a little rough. I don't know. Eh, it's just one of those things where I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like if there was more episodes, it would like I if Helluva Boss for one thing just I think stuck to trying to just play off the premise first. Just focus on, does this premise work on its own? Then I think we'd be somewhere. I don't know. That's just my holy frustration with this type of series. Like I wish them all the best, obviously, and I'm still gonna be watching every now and then. But especially if the shorts still keep doing good, like if the shorts are actually still pretty good, I definitely want to keep watching those. But, but yeah, but enough has been, like, not enough knocking on has been. I would love to work on has been. I'd love to work on Has Been, Hello Boss, or whatever Viv makes as a storyboard artist slash revisionist one day. Both shows get loads of potential, but wasted execution. Yeah, that's sadly where it can fall into. I'm more harsh on Helluva because they have way more leeway with many episodes they have with slash pacing and whatnot. Yeah, it makes more sense why people would be harsher to you know uh to Helluva Boss more, just like I said, because it's indie. So you would think with them having more control, they can form the story a lot better for themselves. It's like you have the time to utilize. You have the time to really make what you want out of this. So it's like utilize it. You don't gotta rush to get the main story out because I think most people, with the fact that it is a spin-off, were expecting it not to get that deep yet. They were just expecting it to be just workplace hijinks happening. But then, they wanted to connect it deeper to Has Been, and then they decided it now has to also have more of a meaning. That's just where it went. I don't know. Whew. We went for about an hour and 25. I do got a little bit more I do want to talk about, but I do want to ask y'all, y'all down for me to try to play a game? Like I said, on the community post, I was thinking of playing Penny's Big Breakaway since I bought that. But y'all sound off in the chat. Let me know. But I can still talk about stuff as I play. But Sonic movies getting better. Here's hoping that the Mario movies have that same effect with the upcoming sequel being better than the first via addressing the complaints. Sure, play something. I don't think Helluva Boss was going to be whatever you want. That's the same person. I don't think Helluva Boss was going to be a musical at first. Yeah, I don't think Helluva. I don't know. I mean, if it wasn't supposed to be a musical at first, then yeah, I think that probably would have worked better for it. But hey, I mean, if you want to keep consistency, since they're supposed to take place in the same type of hell. All right. All right. Let me open the game. Okay, then because I need to do something. Chat, don't hate me. Apparently, I didn't have that game installed. It's installing now. It's 2 gigabytes. I didn't realize it wasn't installed. Sorry. Just give it a minute. Oh man. I expect the sequel to be amazing, but at least show us they can improve somewhat for the Mario movies. Yeah, I would hope for the Mario movies they actually do improve upon it. I would hope they actually decide to say, do you listen to music? Yeah, I do. Latest thing I listened to was GNX by Kendrick Lamar. That was a great album. And man, wanted to close out the year on a real strong high note. But hey man, hey Chad, happy holidays to all of you. Hope you all been well and are enjoying the festive season. Yep, it's been a good season. Or not season. it's been a fairly okay season. Ugh. All right, the game downloaded. Let's try and see if I can launch it. Make sure my stuff doesn't cost. Okay. Ah, there we go. Okay. Oh. Oh right. I forgot this thing might be. Yeah, I gotta change some settings. Hold up. Yeah, VSync. VSync is on. It speeds everything up. There we go. What's your opinion on Corey returning? Seems a little loud, homie. Oh, sorry. Okay, is that better? That ain't what I want. That ain't it either. played a little bit of the demo, so I'm kind of ahead. Not fully. Fairly simple game, so the story's deep. But I don't know. The Mario movie is tricky because oh my god. I gotta remember how to do this. The Mario movie, I'm not really expecting a lot. Like personally, I've always felt the Sonic movies did things much better. Like, I think they just understood, hey, more people have a certain expectation out of these games, so we're going to focus more on that. I don't know what happened there. Chat. But I think the Mario movie, the sequel, I'm not expecting the best. I'm not expecting the best story, or much of a greater story than what we got. It really was just like fan service. Oh my god! I didn't know that was collapsible. Oh, what the? I swear I'm good at video games, chat. Oh my god. But, I think for the Mario movie sequel, it shouldn't be bad. I'm not expecting much, really. It really is gonna be another, I expect another fan service-y type game, movie, where they just say, hey, here's the thing from that beloved game. Like, they're bold, they'll be like, hey, here's here's Daisy now, which isn't bad, but, you know. I think you just got more out of the Sonic movies, because they said there's more of a character explore we wanted to explore here. So, it's just expected. I'm just not really expecting too much. I have no hype. Okay, so just to catch y'all up, I have to not let these penguins get on me, otherwise I get arrested. Okay, let's just go. There we go. Betty is the emperor of the stage and of my heart. Okay. Sonic games had story, character growth, and development. Mario's just hot and get princess. That's always it. Sonic tends to have more to pull from, whereas Mario, you really do gotta basically make up your own stories to make it work. Whereas Sonic, the beats are there, and you can do whatever you want. So, if anything, I think the movies are going to be... If anything, they're going to be the things that make money because they get by on the fan service. But the Sonic movies are going to get by with making enough money, but it's not going to be the most. It's like a good, lucrative franchise for Paramount to keep moving forward with. Unless they start bombing full on. That's when it's like, well, sorry, y'all. Nobody wants Sonic movies anymore. I would hope at some point maybe they try an animated version like they did with Transformers. If anything, I would hope they take the lessons from Transformers and applied. If anything, it feels like they learned the lessons from Transformer and said, hey, maybe we shouldn't just copy and paste these anymore and actually make different movies. That's why we got Transformers 2, and even Rise of Beast was a little different. Nah. Or Bumblebee as well, granted. There we go. Oh, God. There we go. But I think that's just one thing with the Mario, not the Mario, the Sonic movies and the difference between the Mario movies and Sonic movies. Like, I've been a fan of Mario since I was a kid. That's the thing. So it is funny, but I've always been more of a fan of Sonic than I have been Mario. It always felt like there was more to him than just, you know, save Princess. I think that's why we clung to him more. It's the fact that it's like, oh, he's not just in it to save the girl. That's it. He's actually in it to save people. You know, save the day. He's not just about looking cool. He happens to look cool. That's his. That was on time. And I actually got a side objective. Okay, I gotta find the guy. Oh, God. Fall off a ledge with a penguin attached. How is that an achievement? Why is that an achievement? It said, yeah, go die. Funny thing about this game is the fact that it was made by the same team who made Sonic Mania. And they went on to just say, let's make our own game, our own physics to play with. I respect it. Bone Burger. Oh my God. I was like, I'm supposed to be up here. Get the... Keep these penguins off me. Ugh. But yeah. It's just always something that I just don't have much faith in that. There was one topic I did want to talk about. Where's my notes on it? Yeah, here we go. There's been this trend in a lot of animated media where they decide to write overachievers for like their main characters, and I guess and my thing has always been like, I'm starting to feel like that shouldn't be something. For one, I think it's starting to die down as a bit of a trend, because they're starting to realize, hey, no one can really relate to full-on overachievers unless it's that they're being, you know, horribly manipulated by their parents. That's always usually how it is. So when you have like these, like a lot of shows, like say Haley's on It, or even Kif, where they really want to portray them as like people who go above and beyond to try to, as kids who just go above and beyond. It's like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say some kids don't like to be the overachievers for the sake of it, but at the same time, y'all can't pretend like a little bit not properly representative of these characters or of real kids like that. I don't know. If I'm wilding, y'all can check me on that, Chad. Get back to work. This is my thing with it. Like, I think, like, Haley's on it, I think, was... The biggest thing about Haley's on it was the problem with it for me was... She really felt... For one, it felt like a series out of time. It's like, this is what you want to talk about in 2020... What, 2023 when that came out? Where, like, this girl is, she's, like, crushing on a boy, and that's the main conflict, is that she really wants to get, like, she really wants to get the, boy, or confess her love, that she has a crush on this, her friend. And it's just, like, I don't think kids really care about that right now, and I don't know if that's really the message you want to be talking about right now, or trying to push out there for kids like that. Like, that's their priorities. Like, this girl is a major overachiever. She does a lot of things, and they try to play up that she's just very safe, I guess. I don't know. I never really got it. I never understood it myself. So that's why I really got turned off of Haley's on it. And then you got Kif, which same thing, but they're a little wackier. So it's like, okay, I can get a bit more of the appeal there because the world at least has more to it. Like, Haley doesn't have didn't have an interesting world to it. It was just like, what, California that they were in? And even then, the futuristic stuff didn't really play much of a role, and it was always just random mishaps happening for the sake of random mishaps happening in the town or something like that, or it ties into the whole end of the world narrative they have that felt tacked on. That's the other thing. But with Kif, her main character, she's in the same boat of, like, yeah, she's someone who dreams big and wants to achieve these great things, or she makes a mountain out of a molehill. Like, the first episode is her wanting to be the first to drink from the new water fountain because that's her main problem. Now, that's not indicative of the full show. There are a few episodes that gotten some more laughs out of me, but it was like a bad introduction to me because I'm just like, really? This is who your main character is? Someone who is so concerned with such a mundane task? How many kids are really that invested in someone wanting to get the first drink from a water fountain? It's a water fountain, guys. No kid would ever think of the water fountain as that special. At that point, it's like, bro, y'all living in suburbia and y'all just that bored? I don't know. Might sound mean, but look how they just jump out. Look how they just are ready to swing on you. Oh! Ah! Jesus Christ. Ooh. Ooh. Have you ever watched Kif before? Yeah. Have you even watched Kif before? Yes, I watched it. What? That's why I was talking about the fact that the point about it is that she feels too much like an overachiever in what she's trying to go for, and it's just kind of that trend that feels a little too. The way they play up the overachievers, they feel a little too overly cartoony. It's like you can get someone being an overachiever, but there's a groundedness to it. Sometimes they feel pressured or something like that. I'm not saying they need to go into deep revelations about these characters and why they feel the need to achieve so much. It just feels like they could serve to do more. I don't know. But it's just one of those things where it feels like they could do more. Or they feel like they could show a little more about why they feel the need to be such big achievers or something like that. Sometimes it does get into it. Do you have a favorite episode and character from the show? Not really. I watched episodes, but I don't really care for it like that. It's not like I'm not a fan of the show. That I should say that much. I watched it, but I'm not a fan of Kif. So it's just one of those things that I think that's one thing that hurt it, is that I think relatability was lost on them, because I don't know, you have some characters who are overachievers and sometimes they just have a really dumb, doofy friend, and it's like, it's not a bad dynamic, but there's something, you gotta add a little more to them than just what we got. Sorry, I'm a stickler for finding like extras. But I don't know, it's always been something that bugged me. Penguins. Take that down. Eventually I'm gonna get used to that movement, cat. Man. Oh, how kind is that? Do I? Oh, man. I redo it. Please let me redo it. Oh. I die. Do it again. Ah! And I got my ult back. And there we go. All those. I do like to collect that. Damn! Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna fall off again. Green. Oh, why? Whatever. I'll get that later. Leave it. Woo! Need to go there. Ah! I was trying to get the metal. Oh well. I agree with the whole filler debacle. I miss when seasons of shows would be on average 13 episodes a season. If I could make a show, I would love for my seasons to be 13 episodes. That used to be the standard. Well, 26 episodes used to be a standard, and then we shrunk that down to like 13, and then it became 10. I repeat it over and over again because it's the crap that happened. But it sucks. But yeah, Finney's big breakout, the breakaway. It's a good game. I like it. I'm gonna keep playing more, but for now I think I'm gonna end the stream. But thank you all for joining me and hearing my live thoughts. That's probably how I think I'm gonna name these streams moving forward. Is calling them the live thoughts. But to end a little bit off, I do want to also point out some things moving to say what moving into what the channel is going to be for the 10-year anniversary. It's not going to be a big blowout. There's not going to be a special video unless I can truly think of a proper theme to really make that work, if I can. But for what it is, I am going to move into some more videos. I do want to get back into proper video making, but I do want to make more condensed videos, something akin to say the more recent video, not more recent video, but the Everybody Hates Chris / Good Times video, something more on that where it's like abbreviated but getting to the main points of what I want to say and such, maybe connecting more personally to what I truly enjoy about it. But it's going to be, like I said, more shorter, more contained, so I can get videos out a bit better and have my thoughts. Because I work better in a more straight and to the point versus the overly drawn out hour-long movies that a lot of people tend to make. So that's just something I want to try to get into moving forward. There will be a few bigger videos here and there, but I think I mostly want to focus to that. But those are just sort of the updates I want to have. But I have overall in terms of moving forward. I also want to say I'm going to discontinue channel members. Patreon is going to be the exclusive place to get it's going to be the exclusive for like supporting the channel at this point, because channel members, I don't think it really works out that well. It's not great to try to maintain that and Patreon. So if you are a supporter, please join the Patreon in the description for this video and every other video. You know, donating $1 gets you access to so much. I also have like live watches of like certain specials. I just did a recent live watch of the Rocco's Modern Life Christmas special over on Patreon if you want to check that out. So, but yeah, moving forward, if you want to support the channel, Patreon exclusive only. That is the only way to properly see any exclusive videos I have up there. There's already a bunch so far, and also to see videos early as well. So go over to the Patreon, and that's also what to look forward for the channel moving forward. I do want to get back to the video essays. I've been itching. The itch has been there, but it's always just been thinking of how I want to do things in terms of how the channel is. And I think the way I've done it with the Good Times / Everybody Hates Chris method would work a bit better, more condensed, if anything, and maybe more free form, so I can be a bit, because I want to be more creative with it, but I felt a little too restrictive in trying to make more overly long videos. So, but that, and plus I think I can get my thoughts off better when I make them condensed. But that's everything going on with the channel. Thank you for joining me for this stream and hearing my thoughts about all this stuff, as well as talking about Invincible Fight Girl and everything, and you know, the Sonic movie and Helluva Boss and all of our grievances. But but always remember, it's just a thought.